it sounds like CCA doesn't really believe me like my doctors do. And HR's condescending email to me did not take into account that perhaps my condition was a new one, or that their policies are not clear at all, seeing as I was required to remember my new hire training. Or that CCA is a fairly ableist institution, or that the administration will run us till we all burn out, because that's easier than giving us a sustainable livelihood. I am tired of being humiliated by this institution and the way it treats me and my colleagues. So we work tirelessly to serve the students we believe in, these brave and wonderful students. I am tired of being CCA's underpaid saleswoman. I refuse to let this go any longer. I respect the long and tireless work of the bargaining team that got us here. I am in awe of the organizing power of our people, and I am enraged. Thank you.
Next speaker is Adjunct Melissa Levington. Give it up for Melissa.
Hello everyone, how are you all? Doing good? It is amazing to see everybody here. All my adjunct colleagues, my staff colleagues. I also want to give a shout out, as Matt did, to our ranked faculty colleagues. More than 100 of them signed that letter yesterday morning in support of our strike and in support of fair contracts for us. Give it up for them. As Matt told you, I'm an adjunct. I'm actually a senior adjunct of fashion design, history of art and visual culture, and critical ethnic studies. That means I've got 3 feet in 3 different departments, lots of faculty meetings, and that's not at all unusual for many adjuncts. People who teach more than one course here often do double duty on the administrative side across departments. But I've been doing this for a long time. I've just started my 22nd year as an adjunct at CCA. So I remember the before union times as well as the after union times. And I have lots of stories I could tell you, but I'm going to really talk mostly today about what got me from a not very enthusiastic union member to being the deputy secretary of our chapter of SEIU, which I am. And it all started in December of 2020. I'm sure I don't have to remind all of you what March 2020 was like, when the pandemic wore down and all of a sudden we went virtual. We had literally 2 weeks notice. Classes were canceled for a week, and then we had spring break. And the adjunct faculty had to spend their spring break transferring and translating their classes in progress from in-person instruction to virtual instruction. We had tremendous support from the staff, especially the library staff, who were amazing. We would have been so stumped without the library staff. So thank you all. You saved my butt and the butts of many, many of my colleagues. So we crammed all this new technology in. We pre-recorded. We captioned. We demonstrated. We did all sorts of stuff. It took an enormous amount of time, just an enormous amount of time. And we made it. 2 weeks later, we reopened with online instruction. And then, I don't know, 6 weeks, 8 weeks before fall semester of 2020, we were told that, no, we're still going to be online because COVID is still with us. So we did it all again, this time most of us for different courses. And I went to a union meeting at Town Hall in December 2020, shortly after the semester ended, or right around the time the semester was ending. And the people who were running the meeting, the bargaining team, asked us how much time we thought we had all spent, how much extra time we thought we had all spent as adjunct faculty translating our courses from in-person to virtual. And the consensus generally was that it was at least half a line's worth. A line is officially about 135 contact hours. They don't really pay you for prep time, but they figure contact hours, roughly 9 hours a week per class, throughout a 15-week semester. So figure half of 135 hours, roughly 67 to 70 hours. And then they asked us if we wanted to know how much CCA's management had offered to compensate us for that extra time, those basically 2 weeks of extra work. Want to know how much? Yeah? $50. Now, I have to say, if you taught 3 courses a semester, the offer was more generous. $100. And at that point, I was so angry, I didn't know what to do. And I said, that's not an offer, that's an insult. And so I decided it was time for me to step forward. And when I was approached by the nominating team to run for office for the union, I said yes. And I have been doing my best to support the adjunct side of the bargaining team behind the scenes ever since. It has been an eye-opening experience being in all of those bargaining sessions. Bargaining, of course, is continuing because after 2+ years for the staff and 20 months for the adjuncts, we still do not have contracts. And it's not because we have not come to the bargaining table in good faith, is it? It's because CCA's administration and their representatives have been stalling and foot dragging and dodging and ducking and having tantrums to avoid negotiating with us for real. Our students and our colleagues are the reason we are all here. That's the reason I am still here after 22 years of teaching at CCA. And I'm here to tell you that we all deserve better than we have been getting from this very well compensated administration. So join me in calling on them. Stephen Beal and Tammy Ray Carland, we are here waiting to negotiate with you. Come to the bargaining table in person and negotiate with us in good faith. Do your job!
Thank you, Melissa. Let's hear it one more time for Melissa. Now, I was just noticing this building over here looks pretty empty. It's like they can't run the college without us. That's right! Let's make sure they know that. All right, up next is San Francisco Supervisor from District 6, Matt Haney.
All right, do we support the CCA staff? Is it about time that they get their contract? Do we have any students who are out here? Do we have any faculty or staff who are out here? All right, well, we are entirely fully 100% united behind you. The fact that folks have been negotiating for 2 years in good faith and have yet to be given a fair offer on a contract, shame on you, CCA. Shame on you. When we have people in our city who are educating our young people, educating folks who are going to be contributing to our city for many generations to come, and you are paying them poverty wages, that affects all of us. That is unacceptable. And I want to appreciate and acknowledge SEIU 1021 because at a time when union and labor is under attack, 1021 and SEIU has actually been building the labor movement. And when you don't have labor unions that have your back, people get taken advantage of. They'll cut corners, they attack folks. Just like we're seeing here, they're attempting to go after people who are doing nothing more than standing up for their rights. They're actually violating labor law by going after people who are just trying to negotiate for a fair contract. But thankfully you have SEIU 1021. I just heard that this is the first strike at a private college in 50 years. So what we're going to say is we're going to have your back. We're going to stand with you. We're going to make sure that when you're in a fight for fair wages, when you're in a fight for job protections, the city and county of San Francisco and every single resident here should have your back. Thank you. Are we going to win? Are we going to fight? Are we going to win? All right, let's do it.
Next is President of SEIU Local 1021, Joseph Bryant. Let's hear it for Joseph Bryant.
Brothers and sisters and siblings, if you are tired of being disrespected, make some noise. If you are willing to fight for what's right, make some noise. What happens when we fight? When we fight? When we fight? And we are willing to fight because you know what? 2 years is way too long. Am I wrong? 2 years is... 2 years is... 2 years is... We're tired of being disrespected. This college is one where it pays some of its staff, its top staff, over $600,000 a year, and we have 40% of our staff that don't even make $60,000 a year. Is that right? And we are out here, united, brothers and sisters. When we talk about SEIU 1021, we talk about 60,000 workers across Northern California that have everybody's back here, and we are going to win this fight. Are we going to do it together? Now is absolutely the time. People are sick and tired and frustrated of being taken for granted, and we are not going to be taken for granted. We are willing to be in this for the long haul to make sure this employer does the right thing. Enough is enough. Get a contract done. Do it now, or we'll be out here today. We'll be out here tomorrow. We'll be out here as long as we need to be to make sure you do the right thing. Brothers and sisters, when we fight, and we are going to fight until we win. Thank you so much.
My name is Luz Marina Ruiz. I teach in the first year program here at CCA. And basically we're here because we love our students and we love our job. But we're looking for transparency and for inclusion and for fair contracts and a living wage. Thank you.
And is it a profitable company? Is this company profitable?
I don't know. It's a non-profit school.
Oh, it's non-profit?
Non-profit.
The salaries, the executives, $600,000 that we're talking about? High salaries of the administrators?
The administrators are making a lot of money, yeah. But
what is non-profit?
It's more like what's happening across the board. I think there's just not enough transparency for faculty, staff, and students. So all employees are in the majority of supporting this strike.
How long have you worked here?
I've worked here since 2013.
How much do you make?
Well, I'm adjunct, and I only teach one class, so that's $7,000 a semester. You can't live on that.
How do you live?
I live because I have other forms of income, but I still struggle. And many people have 2 and 3 jobs in order to make it.
You're an adjunct. That's the situation of adjuncts.
Yes.
Similar.
Same thing, yes. Yeah. And who are you from?
KPOO.
Oh, okay, great. Well, thank you so much. Okay. All right, bye-bye.
I'm the VP of Communications for CCA.
Okay, what's your name?
Where are you from?
KPOO. San Francisco.
My name's Ann Wiens. It's ANNWIENS.
So they're saying that they're being treated unfairly. What's your response to that?
The National Labor Relations Board, the NLRB, has not upheld a single unfair labor practice allegation against the college. The union has filed 18. They have withdrawn 16 of those. One is under review, and the other one is awaiting a hearing, but they have not sided with the union on any of those allegations.
And a lot of the employees here say they're adjuncts. They're not able to survive on the wages, the conditions here. What's the situation of your faculty members and staff?
That's a pretty broad question. It varies. I mean, this is not a strike of the adjunct faculty. This is a strike of the staff unit.
What's their situation? What's the average wage of the staff?
I don't know that off the top of my head.
You don't know what the average, you don't know what the regular wage is of the staff here? What does it vary from?
It varies considerably, yes, depending on the nature of the position.
Is this a nonprofit?
Yes, we are a nonprofit.
And they were saying some of the executives are making $600,000 a year?
That's absolutely false. Nobody makes $600,000 a year. Our president did not make that prior to the pandemic, and right at the beginning of the pandemic, he took a 25% pay cut voluntarily within a month of when the pandemic hit. The provost and senior vice presidents took voluntary 10% pay cuts. The other vice presidents took 5% pay cuts. Those are the only pay cuts that have been enacted at CCA. They have been in place since the beginning of the pandemic, and they remain in place now.
And what's the budget of CCA?
I can get back to you if you'd like me to. I don't want to give you an inaccurate number off the top of my head. We're in a new budget year.
How many students do you have?
We have about 1,500 students.
You're in the East Bay as well?
Pardon me?
You're in the East Bay as well? You have
Yes, that's our entire student population.
And they say that this is an unfair labor practice strike. You're saying it's not an unfair labor practice?
As I said, the NLRB has not upheld a single unfair labor practice charge against the college.
The adjuncts are saying that they've worked extra hours because of the pandemic and they haven't been compensated, offered $50, $100. Is that true?
I can't speak to individual personnel matters. I don't have the detailed information for that.
How long have they been negotiating?
With the staff union, we've been negotiating since December 2019.
That's kind of a long time, isn't it?
It is the first collective bargaining agreement with our staff unit, so it is. We would expect an initial CBA to take longer than subsequent CBAs, and also we were diverted for a while from negotiating the core articles of the CBA by the pandemic. So, December 2019, the pandemic hit just as we were beginning the negotiations, and we took time out from negotiating the core articles to negotiate side letters of agreement around COVID health and safety protocols, which we did successfully reach agreement on with the union, and then we returned to negotiating the core articles of the CBA.
Is this the first strike you've had as this institution?
Yes.
What do you think?
Pardon me?
What do you think of it?
I wish that it weren't happening. I don't think that it's necessary. I and the administration fully support the right of our represented staff to strike, but I am anxious for everybody to get back into the classroom, into the studios, back to making and teaching and learning, which is what we're all here for.
I'm Red, and actually it's my first semester here. I do get a little bit confused because I'm from China and it's not really familiar for me to encounter something like this. But I think it's really good to see like all the students and staff uniting, and like the teachers are really understanding about this, and to the staff as well. I think like for me personally, it's like a really special experience, you know, because I never get to see this in China. It hardly happens. But I just feel like the collective power, yeah, that's something I feel right now.
So this is your first strike?
Actually, yeah. I did not expect that this will happen as well, yeah. But
you didn't expect the United States to have strikes like this? Or?
I do know that, like, actually I think the strikes here are more organized, because like, well, first it's like for like college in China or something, it's probably, they're probably gonna be like, oh, I'm still gonna give class, although my colleagues are asking for a strike and everything. They just feel like, I have to get my class done first. But I think the professors here are really understanding and respecting their like movement and everything. Yeah, I feel that is like really collective power, and I do feel very inspired by this. Yeah. So that's what I think.
What's the difference between education in the United States, education in China?
Education, I think especially for like an art school, it's like it encourages you to think more instead of just learning the craft and like knowledge. So one of my professors like don't consider as like, oh, we're taking the day off, like really get to know, and it's like a really good experience. And I think so, and that's why I was like trying to know more about this, although I've only been here for 3 weeks. So yeah, but I'm like walking around trying to see what's happening and trying to learn stuff from it as well.
Who's got the power? We've got the power! What kind of power?